Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hello and welcome to a Friday where you're getting fisted.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
Oh,
So
yeah.
excited that you're here. In here
In here,
with us.
deep. I was going to say we need to figure out who did the sound effect for the soup. Isn't the soup the one that would be like, oh, yeah. We need to get that.
I can probably make it myself.
Unfortunately, I do actually think we could do that in-house.
Yes. Yeah. I just got to hear it. I'll probably mimic it pretty perfectly.
I love that. Well, we're going to be reading the results of last week's episode of But Am I Wrong? Episode 93. Look at us how close we're getting up to 100.
I know.
It's wild.
That we'll get to 100.
What? No, I said it's wild.
Oh, it's wild. I thought you said why. And I was like,
Damn, your
Wow.
attention span's getting even shorter, girl.
I know. Yeah, because the one that came out this week will be 95 then. Then Mean Girls will be 96.
It'll be here before we know it.
Mm-hmm. We just got to remember.
Yeah, that's actually going to be totally lost on me. I can actually promise you right now, I can guarantee that I won't remember.
I'll put it on my calendar.
You should be so proud of me. I tried to do the Google Calendar. It wasn't synced though. I think I logged on to the wrong thing. But I did it because I was like, I don't want to bother her and ask her what time we're recording tomorrow. Like, I'm going to like run through the things that I do, that I'm supposed to do, that will like tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just didn't work. But then we were talking about something else. And so I was like, so like, what time are you like recording tomorrow?
I knew what you were doing.
I know. I just like to keep you on your toes. I just wanted to be like, ooh, you can never predict what I'm about to do next.
Why didn't you just go to calendar.google.com?
I think I did. But then I logged on. It was like, what calendar do you want to log onto or like sync with? And I like clicked my email and then it was like, oh, this was
And then
wrong.
on the side, it's listed on the side. We're getting closer.
We are getting closer. Though I did see a TikTok that I deeply resonated with where they said this person was like, don't get rid of TikTok. Don't cancel TikTok. Cancel Google Sheets. Like, what the fuck do you mean we're having spreadsheets online? Like, that's crazy.
I love Google Sheets. I have so many Google Sheets. I do our accounting through Google Sheets that we do. I like it. It's better than the one that Apple has. I'll tell you that.
No, I know. He was comparing it to Excel. And Mox was like,
Excel
this
is
my
superior. So Excel is superior, but I'm not going to pay for it because you have to pay for it. The one that comes with Apple products is atrocious.
Couldn't even tell you what that is.
Sheets is the good in between.
I don't disagree with that. Like, people who hate Google Docs and they're like, Word is so much better. I go, I'm sorry, I wrote my entire book on Google Docs, and they were like, can we please actually do this on Word? And I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't. Like, I just can't do that right now.
You could have exported it to a Word doc, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't copy paste well. Like, you have to like reformat everything.
That's not your problem.
No, I know. That's what they did every time I would send new pages. But I think about that with the Google Calendar versus iCalendar. I go, one of these things is just a easy little app. But hey, I'll get there because you know what? I use Chrome on my phone now.
Great.
Because that was a you influence. And really what sent me over the edge with that, where you were like, Megan, it will save all of the same bookmarks and the things that you frequent. Like it'll autofill from your computer. It'll sync up there. And I went, okay, that's all I needed to hear. Mm-hmm. And I have the 411 app, so does Mott's.
Yep.
You're one of the biggest, you actually might be the biggest influencer in our home.
Great.
You're my personal biggest influencer.
I love that so much.
You could tell me jump off this bridge and I would be like, I don't even need a follow-up question. I would go, if she's jumping, I'll jump.
There's a reason.
Exactly.
A reason.
And I'm still I still need to make this TikTok. Nobody fucking steal this idea from me. But I want to make a TikTok like talking about how in like movies when people are like they get back home to like their wife and kids, they pack up everything, we have to leave now. And they're like, what do you mean? And they're asking all these questions. I'm like, the way I would ask no fucking questions and I would be like, got it. Pack up all my shit and just leave. Like, why would I waste time asking questions?
That's like, I don't know if you ever saw Shrill.
No,
it's a good show.
But I know it.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's fun. But her character, the main character, told her boyfriend it was time they needed to go, and he had a go bag ready at the door.
No, that's like literally about to be me. Like, if you don't trust your partner enough that if they came home and they said, no explanation, we have to leave right now. If you need a follow-up question, that's not your person.
No. Agree. It's like if I see a group of Black people running in a direction, I'm going to also run. As am I. My friend Maite did a TikTok about that where it was like, everyone running. She was like, it's crazy to me that people are just seeing that and then walking towards what they're running away from. She was like, she's like my white people. If you see a group of Black people running away, she goes, run with them towards where they're going. Did you see that building that exploded from vape pens?
No.
There's one person that is running away from it at full speed. And people were like, that's the guy that did it. I was like, there's literally debris falling from the sky. The other people that are looking and going, oh, what's going on? They're the idiots. This is the smart person that's getting the fuck away.
Yeah, this is someone who evolutionary, like we are probably, their descendants have been here for the longest because fight, flight, freeze, they're like, we're flighting.
Yes.
And that's going to be the one that's most successful. Plus also the reaction time, all of it.
I don't have time to pull out my phone and record this. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yep. Well, anyways, shall we read the
has
results?
Nothing to do with this.
No, it has nothing to do with it. That's fine, everyone. Hey, it's what we do here. So yeah, let's read the results. You are up first. I want you to know that this is a what's the royalty-free version of images? Stock image. This is a stock image that I found. A child in a suitcase, and the suitcase is an airplane.
All right. It says, Melissa thinks that unless there is an emergency situation, flying with babies is selfish. Who is wrong? 43% said I was wrong. 57% said I was not wrong. It's about what I expected. I
was about to say, you haven't had like one of your intentionally controversial takes in a while. So I feel like this must have been satisfying for you.
It was. Someone said, another note on this that I don't think was mentioned, but Lord knows I've been wrong before, is that you're bringing an actual baby on a holiday. On top of everything Melissa discussed, the kid will not remember that one bit.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I always think about... Mons was talking about like child-free weddings because we're like going to a wedding, and I was asking, I was like, oh, is like everyone coming or just your brother? And he was like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's a child-free wedding, like that would suck. And I was like, I don't think that your brother and his wife want to bring a 4-year-old and a baby to like that's not fun for them. Like they would rather have a babysitter in order to have it be at least a little bit of a vacation.
Yep.
You know, like you're just parenting in a harder circumstance.
Someone said, as someone with babies, I understand where you're coming from, but it's illegal to put a baby in your check bag. So I don't know what else you'd expect a parent to do. Putting it in a check bag is terrible. I would never expect anybody to do that. I literally gave numerous examples of what you can do instead of flying. My expectations were in what I said.
And again, it's necessity based. Like
Yes.
this is like this. I mean, this is not necessity based. It's like you don't have to do this, and like the not having to do it means like, oh, I just like won't go to the funeral. It's not that. It's like, oh, maybe we don't bring this child to a water park 4 states away.
I just had a flight yesterday and I was congested, which made my ears hurt so bad while we were landing. And I just kept thinking about Melissa's point here. And I was like, well, if I didn't agree with her before, I definitely do now. I already did, though.
Someone who's chronically plugged ears. Yeah.
Me too. Then someone said, though I love that Melissa has an empathetic take on this, I disagree. I'm sorry. As someone with a baby and family that lives quite a few states away, just think this is too nuanced a topic to generalize about. I know every baby is different, but mine is totally fine on the plane and his ears don't seem to bug him. We researched so much before his first flight and there are ways to help them get their ears popped. You just have to time it right to limit the discomfort as much as possible. He honestly cries more at the doctor when he gets shots or when he gets bored and wants a new toy to play with. He's not in pain, though, when he's playing with a toy. And if he is, that is something else to look into.
Maybe not a toy.
To see family for the holidays, spending the time alone at home or flying was the only option because babies can't be in their car seats for longer than 90 minutes at a time. I learned very quickly after having a baby that a lot of the opinions and assumptions I had about parenting before kids were pretty wrong.
I do want to dispute that there was like a not nuance in the take. Like, you know, we talked about like in this case, it sounds like your baby doesn't have any like major issue, like doesn't have issues with flying, like is totally content, is like not in pain doing all of that. And like it works like well for you, which was all included in your nuanced take that it's like, we're talking about the babies that it does not go well for, and people still do that when it's not necessary. And the whole thing, I think we should everyone remember, it's not just babies are in pain, but it's like, at least for me, I also think a lot of the time that this happens, that it's like there becomes a default parent on the flight, and that person's stressing out, and most of the time specifically in like cis heterosexual relationships, it's the mom, and it's a massive toll on them as well. So like, Yep. On the plane that inspired this, both the babies that were screaming their heads off, the moms were standing in the aisle rocking them when they were supposed to be seated with their seatbelts on. Yeah, that part also really stresses me out. Me too. Because it stresses me out for them, because I know that how stressed out I am about it, the moms are so much more stressed out about it. But like, I just feel so bad. And I don't know if that last part was like a jab at me because I don't have a child, but I did co-parent my niece until she was 5. So I do understand that.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Next up, another hot take. Meghan thinks men shouldn't be doctors. Melissa, when I tell you I looked up all these men, because I said male doctors from Grey's Anatomy, and I'm looking at all of them, it feels like I know this show's about like doctors who fuck. It's like the young pope. It's like, get this, he's a pope, but he fucks. Mm-hmm. The fact that from what I could see, there's not a single male doctor with even salt and pepper hair, I was like, damn. We're getting real young. Is it supposed to be like that they're brand new doctors?
He did have salt and pepper hair. You might have got it it was like at his temples, but they were younger.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Because the whole thing is
doctors?
Like he's not a younger doctor. He's like in his 40s.
Okay.
When the show starts.
He's petite, so hard to tell.
He's the People magazine's current hottest man alive, and I was like, y'all didn't get him when he was in his prime 20. When I say prime, I mean he's still like very attractive, but I just mean he hasn't really done anything. He quit Grey's Anatomy so he could go like race cars 10 years ago.
Did you see the interview? Because his wife pretty much said the same thing. She goes, why now? Like, you're like kind of washed up.
And his wife was I think she still might be, as a makeup artist. Yeah. Like that's how they met. So she she's going to be real about this. She's
like, our skincare routine has changed because this man is getting washed up. So it's a little crazy, the timeline of it. I thought she was funny.
Yeah. But when I saw this, I was like, if there is one male doctor that I would trust, it would be him. But other than that.
See, I was thinking of putting the hot one because I inherently don't trust people.
Which one?
What's his name? The one who's in everything. But he's got light eyes. And so that to me is all an automatic sign of distrust.
You're talking about Jesse Williams?
I almost said Jesse Metcalf. Jesse Williams, right? Yeah, Jesse Williams. I could never cross him out there just because like he is so beautiful. But truthfully, if he walked through my door and said, hi, I am your new doctor, I would say, no, you're not. And I would find another doctor. Like I
feel like your cardio doctor is hotter than him.
No. But the issue is there because like he'd be like, when was your last period? I'd be like, oh my God, like why are you asking me questions? Like I couldn't do that. I'd just be like, okay, leave.
Him and Jesse's character, and then who they call McSteamy. So Derek is McDreamy, and then they have McSteamy. They're both plastic surgeons on the show, so like they were just like two beautiful humans who also like did plastic surgery, and people were like
that's perfect casting.
They would literally be in like a patient would be like, no, I don't want them. So you're right on the money.
Yeah, no, and it seems like another win for Shonda. Like she knew what she was doing. Like that is actually like exactly what it is. Are they like trauma plastic surgeons or just all kind of plastic surgeons? Are they doing titties?
They're more trauma. They're more, I mean, they did do titties, but it was more, it wasn't like, it was like people, it was trauma because they work in the hospital all the time.
Yeah, that made sense. That's why I assumed.
Private practice. Yeah.
Okay, well, so no offense to whatever McMuffin this one is, but 13%, 13% said I was wrong. 87% said I was not wrong. And someone said, men that are doctors should only do paperwork. I'm disabled, and so many doctor's appointments are paperwork related. It's honestly a waste of my doctor's time. It would be great if there was some guy that she could tell that I qualify for the program, benefit, etc., and that he has to fill out my doctor paperwork. And they said also voted wrong on this one. I agree with that because every paperwork, like doctor that not paperwork doctor, anytime I've had to do like calling the front desk of like a doctor's specific office or like the specialist, someone who's having to like navigate like insurance and all of that stuff, they were lovely, lovely, lovely women, which I would go, I don't know if you've been to medical school, but you should. And I would like for you to be my doctor and swap. The other one can send the emails. Then we have, I've torn my ACL twice now. Ouch. First reconstruction was seamless, was never in pain, recovered so well, invisible stitches that just disappear, and the scar healed so well. This surgery was with a woman surgeon. 2 weeks ago, I had my second reconstruction on the other leg. Doctor was rude, didn't even talk to my parents in person after performing the surgery, only called them, put 42 staples in my leg and 3 extra large incisions without even notifying me. I was under the impression it was stitches until I was told to take the bandage off 5 days later, where I unwrapped it and saw my legs stapled together. Jump scare. To say the least. And it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. This one was a male doctor, of course. This experience was the worst I've ever had, and the doctor had no sympathy, and I hate men, and I've had so many breakdowns because I didn't go home from college to get the surgery done with the original female doctor. I hate that for you. Someone said, even before Meghan's reasoning, I agreed, LOL. I finished listening to Meghan's Wrong of the Week fuming. I said this to my uncle, a doctor, and he was genuinely confused, further proving his point. This one I love. They're obviously too emotional to handle this amount of decision making, which I agree. And like not every, but like the vast majority of experience I've had with male doctors, to me, it's like, and this is why men shouldn't be president.
I texted you one because she had sent it, and then I looked at it because I screenshot it, but I didn't like read it because I was saving it for this. And then she got nervous because she thought that we thought it was too much.
Left on scene.
And so she unsent it, and I was like, what's up? And then she was like, I just got nervous, but you can read it. And I was like, I was just doing.
For anyone, if we like read it and we don't like say anything, like sometimes we'll go and like we'll click and we'll like them, but a lot of the times like we'll just read it on the podcast. So for anyone, like didn't even think about it, but that would also make me nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a lot of questionable encounters with male doctors, with the man that finally, after years of trying to get them to listen to me and try not to blame it on my various psychological issues and disorders, illnesses, diagnosed with EDS, was actually amazing. He acknowledged that a lot of older doctors don't even know what it is, and that a lot of doctors like to blame things on mental illness and then not take them seriously or even treat them. His notes in the chart were spot on too. He was part of a minority though. I'd say white cis men shouldn't be doctors maybe. That wholeheartedly. But a huge trigger warning for this one, for suicidal ideation, psychiatric hospital, and treatment against one's will. Once I was in a psych ward section, so I couldn't go home, and a male doctor came in and asked me why I didn't follow the treatment plan and what I wanted. When I responded that I wanted to die, he told me that I should just go home and kill myself because I wasn't allowed to die there. So he was going to discharge me tomorrow so that I could do that, because if I didn't want to follow the treatment plan, there was no point in me being there. Again, big, big, big trigger warning. Holy.
Whoa. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Shit makes me so fucking mad. I traveled to Fiji in December for a month-long internship. The last week of my trip, I became violently ill. The worst fever, sweats, hallucinations, rash. The sickest I ever felt. A week later, I started having crippling migraines, had constant nausea, was vomiting, and couldn't eat. I saw a male doctor upon returning home who told me I had, quote-unquote, Fiji belly. I knew something was wrong, and I tried to explain, but he didn't listen. Saw another male practitioner 2 days later who told me I was most likely having a hormone-related migraine attack, because of course, I'm a woman. Mind you, both of those doctors checked if I was pregnant first before doing anything. 3 weeks later, I was still so sick. I'd lost so much weight because I couldn't eat, and when I did eat, I would throw up, and I was so sick I couldn't exercise, drive, or go to work for full days. It took a third doctor a month after this who began to send me for blood tests and diagnose me with dengue fever. Holy fuck. I had all the obvious symptoms and had been somewhere it's contractable, but because I'm a woman, they were more concerned with if I was pregnant or if it was hormone related. The second doctor also heard me say I have no appetite and I'm vomiting up anything I eat, and really clung on to that one. I had to insist that it's abnormal for me to not want to eat food, and this wasn't voluntary behavior when he asked further. In conclusion, Meghan is not wrong, because men suck and men with an ego are even worse. And I bet a man would have heard another man's symptoms and diagnosed him with dengue fever on the first try.
Same. I know somebody that this happened to in real life too. Same
Holy
thing. They went
shit.
to the same place.
Damn. I'm assuming this person voted that I was wrong because then they said I said this because of the medical staffing crisis. LOL. That's fine. That's a fine vote. My cousin's fiance is a surgeon. He is one of the most self-serving people on the planet. He can fix a bowel, but empathy, compassion, respect, not a chance. I also have my sister-in-law's brother-in-law is a straight up brain surgeon. When I tell you, I was like, what was your childhood like? Because I've never met a more personable, compassionate, kind, empathetic, hilarious man. And then I did find out that he paid for a lot of medical school being a DJ, and not like a cool DJ, like a college, dorky DJ. And I was like, maybe this is what this was. But I was shocked. At this point, I'm like, maybe I should just call him and ask him to find me other doctors. Someone said, Megan is not wrong based on her experience, Avi, but I've had some great male doctors and know that they're working for women, but all these jackasses Megan saw should have their credentials revoked. I do want to say that I have had good male doctors. I've also had bad women who are bad doctors who are women. So but I do think that to kind of be oh, not all. This falls into a not all men category because the reason why these male doctors are treating us poorly is because we're women. That's why, and specifically because they're men. They treat other people, but if you're not a specifically a cis het white man, but specifically not presenting that way, they will treat you so differently. And that is a result of that's the result of yes, their ego and narcissism and all of that, but it's that is a part of the patriarchy. So the whole not all men does fall into this category. And I've had great success with I have an older male doctor who's a specialist who's really great and super nice, and I have another one who's my general practitioner who is super nice, and he's a gay guy. And I was at this point I'm I just need both of you to talk to each other to figure out what other doctors to send me to. And just be a little more discerning in that. This is another trigger warning, mention of anorexia. I had a male doctor say to me that my eating disorder wasn't serious until I was no longer getting my period. Ugh.
And again, that goes back to they care when something about reproductive comes up.
And yeah, so lots of people I've shared it on a post on our static one, and then that lots of people have had these experiences too, which is horrible.
There was one more that just came in too.
Oh. I agree that cis men shouldn't be doctors, but I think that trans men would have been a really great perspective to bring to the medical field. Wholeheartedly. I implicitly trust trans men and women, an expert in it, 100%. That to me is if we're going to have biases, I have biases towards trans men and women, lesbians. When you have been at the hand of patriarchy in a way, and black women, when you've been at the hand of patriarchy in a much more heavy-handed way than I am at the receiving end of that, and you've gotten over all of those hurdles to achieve being a professional in any sense, I'm I want to hear from you. I want to I trust you. Mm-hmm. So yes, I agree with that. Oh, it's getting me riled up again. Someone tagged me on TikTok, someone who finally also had been waiting months to get a rheumatologist appointment, and years also, and how it was the worst ever, and their partner is a doctor, and just had to argue with the rheumatologist the whole time.
That's so messed up.
And it seems to be it's every time it's a woman, it's it's fight or flight, it's just anxiety. You're fine.
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
People often look at me with confusion when I ask them what their only one in the room story is. They think it has to be like mine, where I went to a 600-person event and discovered that I was the only Black person there. I know. Horrifying, right? Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart-Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us for an hour and lose yourself in someone's only one story. This podcast is for anyone who's ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone.
All right, and then we have writer number 1 versus friend with bad breath. Who is wrong? 26% said the writer is wrong. 74% said the writer is not wrong. I gotta say I disagree with this.
Which part do you disagree with?
The writer should tell their friend.
What did the writer say they wanted to do?
Would it be
Would it
wrong?
be wrong if I didn't tell my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if people realize that that's what it was. I could have written this better. I was a little... I made these, and Melissa knows. I made these and to post because Melissa was like, hey, post it. And I was like, oh, we got it. And then they just sat on my phone and I forgot to post them. And so I did it like very quickly to try and get as many votes as possible because I posted them at night. But yeah, that was probably on me on the phrasing of it. Or maybe people did disagree because some people said like, yeah, writer is wrong if they don't say anything.
Writer should tell the friend. Writer is wrong if they don't say anything. I forgot how it was phrased in the episode. Okay, that was it.
There's one, you got to tell the friend, but especially if the group is talking about it. That I so agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm going to talk about you behind your back, it's because I've usually, if I care about you, it's because I've already said it to your face. If I don't care about you, it's because I'd be fine saying it to your face.
Yep.
Then we have writer number 2 versus moving away from a messy roommate. From a messy's roommate. That was my bad as well. 8% said the writer is wrong. 92% said the writer is not wrong.
The writer did write in.
Hey, I'm the writer who moved her roommate stuff. I did message her soon after I did it, and she was totally fine with me moving her stuff. Like I said, she was super apologetic and is just a really messy person. We don't have any tolerance for food being left out, so we never bothered waiting and just cleaned up after her. I was definitely ready to say something about how lazy and kind of rude it was, but we've spent less time together in the last few months than when we have lived in different cities. It was hard to reach out because it started to feel like almost a weird power dynamic. She made no effort to ever reach out to me unless she needed something, and I'd been missing my friend. But the other day, she messaged out of the blue to tell me she decided to end our lease in 2 months. Whoa. My boyfriend and I were planning on leaving in the fall anyway, but we're looking forward to the summer, and this has stressed us out a lot, and a move pushes back a lot of life/career path decisions we were going to make. It will also stress me out more financially. Her making this unilateral decision indicated to me that she's not just sometimes forgetful, she can be completely inconsiderate, and I'm not sure how to move forward with our friendship, TBH. Thank you for the laughs, though. This week was really stressful, and my boyfriend and I have a running joke that we live in her glorified storage unit. And the baby clothes, she works with small children, but it still doesn't really explain baby clothes. So I'm not sure, to be honest. It will just be one of life's great mysteries. Thanks again. Her making that unilateral decision, like I would just make sure that check to see like what your lease says, if she can like do that, and or also even depending on what your lease says, even if you signed your lease, if like that's not like what the housing laws are in your city or your state, that's void at that point. Like if it says that one person can move out without paying the security deposit or whatever, because at that point, if you're moving out and you're going to break the lease and you're going to like leave early while you're still in that lease, it's a courtesy to tell the other people. So you could try and find they could try and find a replacement roommate, but it should be on her.
Yep.
So like, I think you should be able to leave in the fall if you have the option to, or schedule a trip, so like have it be so you're like a summer trip or something, so you don't have to actually move in the summer. Like you could either move a little, like you could do something like that before that. So if you had like fun things you wanted to do, like you could move in before, like, but that sucks. Roommates are triggering. Okay. Oh, it's your nom.
And then we have Judge Robert Adrian. 96% said the judge is wrong. 4% said the judge is not wrong. I don't believe we had anyone write in about it.
Then we have my wrong of the week. I nominated Kellogg's. 96% said Kellogg's is wrong. 4% said they're not wrong. Someone said, which like, I was like, is this really what this means? Oh, accidentally hit not wrong, but he most certainly is. It's giving let them eat cake vibes. And that makes me realize that I need to watch Marie Antoinette.
I saw people saying that on TikTok too.
Of course, I really do think we need to talk, like it's not being talked about more, that like, of course, this is the man who is behind the Special K diet. So like, of course we ended up here. He's been trying to get you to eat cereal for dinner all the time.
I'm happy that now so many people on TikTok are making cereal recipes because that's something I can get into. You know, that's something for me.
I was going to say, do you remember when people were doing, not people, but like the companies, the cereal bars were like a big thing. So like Rice Krispie treats with other kinds of cereal. That to me is the best thing in the world because Rice Krispie treats are the only thing they're good for. And I'm not a fan of Rice Krispies in general. They're just too small, too airy.
I don't like the way that they feel on my tongue when because they're popping.
I feel the same way. I feel they're a very precarious texture. And also I'm not good with things that in my mouth so quickly lose their texture and kind of disintegrate. Like that icks me out, kind of like cotton candy. And I find that with
I hate cotton candy too.
Yeah. I find that with like the very like airy, ricey popped things like that. But when you could have like a cereal bar and you got like a cinnamon toast crunch in there, I was like,
I love
superior.
Those. I love those.
It's got a little bite to it.
I did see somebody also on TikTok making like homemade Star Crunches, which are my favorite little Debbie snack. And I was like, ooh, this looks great. I'm going to make it because they've changed the flavor and they taste very waxy now.
Ugh.
And so I was like, I'm 100% making these at some point.
Whoa. Is there a filling or are they just the flat?
It's like a mixture of chocolate and caramel, like the whole, it's throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
With Rice Krispie treats.
It's so funny when you Google it. It is a mix of those and people performing the ab exercise, a Star Crunch.
Oh, I hate that exercise so much.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, these look. I could see how a processed version of this would not taste well. To me, these would taste like the packaging that they're in.
Yeah, they used to be really good, and now they're awful. And they're also smaller than they used to be.
I think that's my biggest issue with Rice Krispie. Like things that are that airy, they don't have much flavor, and so like they taste like whatever they're packaged in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And your adventure of Star Crunches. That's it. Those are the results.
Hope you enjoyed. Join us on Monday for Don't Blame Me, Tuesday for See You Next Tuesday, and then Thursday for But Am I Wrong? It's going to be a good time.
Yeehaw.
Goodbye. Bye. We'll touch base later.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.